So round 9, we are bringing the popcorns back in, and obviously we're doing some back cross stitch. So let's get started, as always, with our corner. Chain 3, double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. There we go. Okay, now we're going to double crochet into the first 3 stitches. 3 stitches. There we go. And then we're going to do a front post double crochet into or around the next stitch. We're doing one over here. Okay, front post there, and then we're going to do a back cross stitch over the next 2 stitches. So remember, skip a stitch, go into that second stitch with a double crochet, and then do your double crochet behind into that skipped stitch. Okay, and then we're going to do a front post double crochet around the next stitch. So we always frame that cross stitch with our 2 front post double crochets. Okay, and then we are going to double crochet into the next 2 stitches, 2 double crochet, and then a front post double crochet around the next stitch, which is our original front post, a back cross stitch over the next 2, which is our original back cross stitch. There we go, and then a front post double crochet around the next stitch, which is the front post. Okay, and then we are going to double crochet into the next 2 stitches. Grab some more yarn. After those 2 double crochet, we are doing a front post double crochet around the next stitch, and then a back cross stitch, which you know how to do by now. Oops, just caught one loop there. If you happen to catch one loop and it pulls up big like that, then just give your work a wiggle and it will take it back down to size. This is quite handy. Okay, and then we're going to do a front post around the next stitch, and then we're going to do sorry, 3 double crochets. I have 4, so I've gone wrong somewhere. Okay, so here's another confession of a mistake I made. As I told you before, make sure you're not doing your front post around the stitch that you just worked in, and that's exactly what I've just found. I was just looking back at what I'd done, and you can see here I've got a front post around this stitch here. Okay, so undo that, and you can now see that cross stitch is going into there. So now I have to do the front post here, and then I will have 3 stitches. So do if you think you've made a mistake, then do look back and count and see what you've done and work out where that error is, because if I'd have just thought, oh, I don't know what I've done wrong there, and just done those 4 stitches, then it would have not really looked right. Okay, so you can now see that's nice and separate from there, and got its own space. So just always make sure you're double checking and not just thinking, oh, it doesn't matter, you know, it'd be fine. So just do these last 3 double crochet along here, and then we're doing a corner. Okay, we're doing the corner as usual. Okay, and now we're on to the bubble side. So what we're going to do for this side is double crochet in 2 stitches. Then we're going to do a front post around the next stitch. A double crochet in the next stitch. And then in the next stitch, we're doing a popcorn. So that's that 5 double crochet popcorn. So 5 double crochets all into the same stitch. Pull up a loop, put your hook into the first stitch, pop the loop back on and pull through. You've got your popcorn. Then we're going to double crochet in the next stitch, front post double around the next, and then we're going to find my place in the pattern. We're going to double crochet in the next stitch, front post around the next, which is our front post, double crochet in the next, and then a popcorn in the next stitch. Okay, popcorn in the next stitch. So 5 double crochets into that same stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, one more. Make that popcorn, and then we are going to do a double crochet in the next stitch, front post double around the front post double, and then we're going to do a double crochet in the next stitch, front post double around the next, after that front post we're going to do a double crochet, and then we're going to do a popcorn in the next stitch, 5 double crochets in that one stitch to make the popcorn. And then we're going to do a double crochet and then a front post double crochet, and then 3 double crochets along to the corner. 2 and 3, and then we are back at the corner. So I know that seemed like a lot of instructions, but there's quite a lot of stitches going on. More of the cross stitches, more of the popcorns. So rewind the video back if you need a recap. Rewind it back, check the timestamp, and do these next 2 sides, okay? And then you'll be slip stitching into the top of your original starting chain. Okay, so I will do these next 2 sides and I'll see you in a moment. And there we are at the end of round 9. It is looking good, looking good. Just spreading it out a bit. There we go. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Nice texture going on here. So we are moving on to round 10. There are just 3 rounds left. As you can see, I've fastened off my purple, joined my white in the corner. So let's start round 10. Now I have just moved my camera to try and stop all the shadow that was coming on before. So let me just make sure it's in the right place. Okay, so let's do our corner as usual. Be making these corners in our sleep. She says, and then drops her yarn off her hook. Oh dear, and then can't get a grip. It's one of those days. Okay, so we've got our corner, and now we're going to double crochet in the next 5 stitches. 5 double crochets. Two, 3, 4, and 5. Always worth having a double count. Just checking. Okay, we're going to do a front post double crochet around the next stitch, which is a front post double crochet. And then we're going to do a back cross stitch over the top of the previous one. So you know that means skipping a stitch and then going behind and doing that skipped stitch. And then a front post double crochet around the next front post. And then we are going to double crochet in the next 2 stitches. 2 stitches. And then a front post around the next, which is a front post. You guessed it, a back cross stitch over the top of the previous back cross stitch. And then a front post around the previous front post. You know what's coming. And then we're going to do that again. We're going to do 2 double crochet. And then a front post around the front post. And then your back cross stitch over the top of the previous cross stitch. And then a front post around the front post. And then 5 double crochets, which should take you to your corner. There we go. Looking good. So let's do the next side. So the next side, we are doing a corner, of course. Oops, getting carried away with my double crochets there. Okay, so we've got a corner, and then we're going to do a double crochet in 4 double crochets. So 4 double crochets. And then a front post around the front post. Very slippy yarn today. Double crochet in the next 3, so that's your stitch. Then in the top of your popcorn, remember it's to the right here. And then the next stitch, which will be tightly against your popcorn. And then a front post around the next front post. After that front post, we're doing a double crochet. And then we're going to do a front post around the next front post. Double crochet in the next 3. Again, that's the stitch, the popcorn, and then the stitch. And then a front post around the front post. double crochet in the next stitch, front post around the front post, double crochet in the next 3 stitches, so stitch, popcorn, and in the stitch, front post around the front post, double crochet in the next stitch, and then double crochet in the next 4 stitches. There we go. And then you are back at your corner. So rewind the video, check the timestamp below, and repeat for these 2 sides that we've just done, and then that's what you'll be doing around these 2 sides here. Okay, so do your next 2 sides, and then same as usual, slip stitch into the top of your chain 3 to finish off, and then we'll be changing colour for the next round. So I'll see you at the end of this round. There we go, end of round 10. I love this texture that's going on. Love it, love it. So we are on to round 11. We have one more round after that, but the last round, round 12, is a nice, simple, straightforward round. No cross stitches, no popcorns, no front post. So let's do round 11. I have changed colour again, which I think I said to you at the end of the last round. So we are going to start in the same way that we always start, with our corner. Let's do this corner. I hope you're all remembering to have a stretch. When you're doing these big squares and it takes longer, forget to stretch, and then you end up having a set shoulder or a set arm. So don't forget your stretches. And your fingers as well can get a bit crampy and stiff. Anyway, corners on. We're going to do 7 double crochets along our side. 7 double crochets. My yarn's getting all catchy now. Okay, when you've done those 7, we're going to do a front post around the next front post, like so, and then a cross stitch on top of the last cross stitch. Make sure you go behind, find your stitch, there we go, and then another front post around the next front post, and then a double crochet in the next 8 stitches. 8 stitches. So we are skipping over these front posts here in the middle, okay? Well, we're not skipping over them, but we're just doing a regular double crochet into them rather than doing more front posts, okay? And that's we've done our double crochets into that cross stitch as well, okay, our 8 stitches. And then we're going to do a front post around the next front post, a cross stitch on top of the previous cross stitch. And then a front post around the front post, and then 7 double crochets to take you to the corner. But then you get a knot in your yarn and have to sort yourself out. There we go. Okay, there we go. 7 along that side, and then you're back at your corner, so you know what to do there. Okay, and then we are on to the popcorn side. So what are we doing with popcorns this time? Let's have a look. We are going to double crochet into the first 6 stitches. 6 double crochets. And a front post around the front post. Double crochet in the next, and then a popcorn in the next stitch. So that's your 5 double crochet into one stitch, and join them together, and then a double crochet in the next stitch, front post around the front post, double crochet in the next stitch, front post around the front post, double crochet in the next stitch, and then a popcorn in the next stitch. Anyone like me and fancying some popcorn now? A nice bowl of sweet and salty popcorn would go down a treat right now. But I haven't got any. So after the popcorn, we're going to do a double crochet, and then a front post around the front post, double crochet in the next, and then a front post around the front post, double crochet in the next, and then we're back to doing a popcorn. So popcorn in the next stitch, oh, there we go. Losing my voice there, gosh. Okay, so popcorn there, then a double crochet in the next stitch. My voice needs to hold out for another 10 minutes. A front post around the front post, and then she loses her place in the pattern. Okay, so we've done the front post, then we're going to do a double crochet, and then a double crochet in the next 6 stitches. Apologies for my bad brain just then. I don't even know what words I'm saying now. I'm just getting confused. You're probably pleased that this is the last round with too much instruction. Okay, so then we're going to do the corner. Okay, so let's just do that corner. And then I am going to say to you, rewind the video and look at the timestamp below and follow that round to repeat these two sides for along here and down here. And then as usual, you will be joining with a slip stitch in the top of your starting chain. Okay, so do that and I will see you for the final round. The final round is where in the picture there has been a colour change for the final round. But I think I might continue with this purple for the final round rather than having a white border. I can't decide. You'll find out when you come back after doing your finishing your round. See you in a mo. Here we are at the end of round 11. How lovely is this looking? Now I've decided I'm going to do my final round with the lilac-y purple that I've got. Decided I don't want to put a white border on it, so I slip stitched across to the corner and that's where I'm going to start. So let's do round 12, and round 12 is a lovely simple finishing round. So start your corner with your chain 3 and then a double crochet, chain 2 and 2 double crochets. There we go. And then, so simple, we're just going to put 1 double crochet into every stitch along, and each side should have 34 stitches. So 34 stitches along, and then make your corner, and then do another 34 stitches, make a corner, and complete that all the way around until you get to the end. And then you're going to slip stitch into the top of your chain 3, and then you can fasten off, unless you decide that you want to make it a bit bigger and do another round of double crochet, or even half double crochet, single crochet. I would say if you do decide to make it bigger and do a round of single or half double crochets, then at your corners I would do 1 stitch, 1 chain and 1 more stitch if you want a really nice square corner, because they're shorter stitches. If you did 2 stitches, it would sort of crowd the corner a little bit. And if you just do 3 stitches, I mean if you do 2 stitches, chain 2, 2 stitches of say single crochet, it would quite bunch the corner up a bit. It would be a bit tight. So you could do 3 single crochets in your corner, and that will give you a slightly rounded corner. So if you want a nice sharp corner, go for single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, if you want to make your square bigger. And I would do that with a half double crochet as well. I would do 1 half double crochet, chain 1 and 1 half double crochet. Or you could do another round of double crochet. Obviously it's all completely up to you, your square, but this is the end of the official square, the pattern, and mine tend to come up at about 9 inches with using a 4.5mm hook and DK light worsted weight yarn. So if you're using worsted weight yarn and a bigger hook, you will likely be nearer to 12 inches. So up to you how you want to finish this off. I'm just going to continue round and then I will show you the final result at the end of the video, as I always do. Have fun and I'll be back in a moment. There we go. There's the end of my square, my finished square. So it has this lovely star in the center, and then the lovely popcorns for the hugs and the cross stitches for the kisses. So beautiful hugs and kisses square from Aurora. Thank you, Aurora, for a lovely square, lovely pattern, and thank you for allowing us to video the tutorial for it. So all I've done is given it a good stretch out to stretch that middle part. If you feel it needs blocking, then go ahead and do that. But yeah, that's our square today. I hope you've enjoyed making it along with me. I hope you found it useful and helpful. If you have, then please do click that like button, give us a thumbs up, and to know when we've got more videos out, click the subscribe button, and then if you click the bell as well, it will notify you when a new video is out. So that's all from me today. Great to be crocheting along with you again. It's been a while. So as always, until next time, just keep hooking and don't let your tea get cold.